DKB here. What's happening, y'all? So I got some really exciting news that I'm hyped up about, at least for our starting safety position. Jason Pinnock, and I think the report came from Schefter, but during the OTAs, we seen a glimpse of what the starting lineup may look like. And we had at the cornerback spots, Bryce Hall and DJ Reed on the boundaries, of course, with Michael Carter II in the slot. And then we had Jason Pinnock at free safety with Whiteside hanging out as strong safety. And for those that didn't care to necessarily bring in a veteran presence or, just ended up loving Pinnock based on what he did last season, which, by the way, just to make sure we're all on the same page, he was drafted to be a cornerback and kind of be in that shuffle of players that might be our number 2 next to Bryce Hall. There was never any pre-draft training. There was never any training leading throughout the season. Injuries and, the way things worked out with the roster just took a toll. We took a chance on his athletic ability, size, things like that. We toss him into the fire, and he does more than just satisfy the requirements of being a starting safety for us. He goes out there per PFF. I think he got like an 80.4 rating with them, which was one of the best ones in the league during that final 4 or 5 weeks of the season. And it's not just, from a stats perspective. The eyeball test and everything, he passed with flying colors. I think he was even able to force a fumble in like 3 or 4 of those games. So he kind of had consistent, I won't say dominant, but consistent performances. You can kind of see minor improvements in things like the way he was attacking certain angles coming down. But the dude's an absolute firecracker. I couldn't be more happy to see it. It's another huge boost for Joe Douglas's draft class from 2021 as well, where they're finding ways for people to contribute from top down. So, it's not many 4th, 5th, 6th round players that you're going to see who's able to come in and kind of manifest a role for themselves. And he's been the ultimate team player about the thing as well. I talked about the fact that he didn't really get preparation for this, but he said towards the end of the season that he felt very comfortable at safety. And then he's spoken about it again where he's advised that, I think it was basically along the lines that based on his play last season and of course just wanting to get on the field realistically, but with the scheme and how things are working out for him, he feels most comfortable at safety rather than still trying to fight it out at cornerback, which should be music to our ears. He's had a full offseason to get prepared for this role as well. And if you think about it, that might be the optimal lineup for us in some given fashion, having Bryce Hall and DJ Reed or a Sauce Gardner and a DJ Reed, and then having Pinnock, who can be the main, snap taker for the season, and having somebody like LaMarcus Joyner, who's coming off an injury, only need to really come in and spell him, coach him up on the sidelines and things like that. It's kind of the best cap situation for us as well. So this might have been a reason why we never ended up bringing in a veteran player. And again, I couldn't be more excited for it. The only other interesting thing that really stood out to me about the lineup is that we seen Bryce Hall with the starting unit. It's not a shocker to me. I love Bryce Hall, and the Sauce Gardner pick shouldn't take anything away from him. But I think everybody got kind of caught up in, one or the other player had to take all the snaps as a cornerback one. And maybe that's not the case. Maybe the game plan is that there's going to be a 50-50 split where Sauce Gardner is seeing the field half the time, Bryce Hall is seeing the field half the time. And then, of course, as I touched on before, some of those teams we face, with the spread offenses and different little schematic tricks like that, that are going to see 4 and 5 wide receivers more often. It just gives us a leg up against most opponents. But it's an outstanding secondary and much improved from what we were looking at years before. And, I'm hoping Jason Pinnock definitely continues to stand out. The fact that he's leading the way this early into OTAs, I think, is a huge sign for us. I don't know what the next developmental path or, step is going to be for him necessarily. Obviously, we need to see huge improvements in like coverage and stuff like that. But again, we haven't really been able to see what the practices will look like. And I don't think they necessarily have been open to media except maybe that one so far. But either way, let me know what your guys' thoughts are. Jason Pinnock and Jordan Whitehead as our starting safety tandems, I think has a nice ring to me. But I'll catch you guys again. Peace.